My mother sold my wedding dress to pay for my stepsister's engagement party. I wore her wedding gown to the courthouse instead. I cutting her vintage wedding into a mini dress to my courthouse ceremony instead. She didn't recognize until the photos went viral 3 weeks before my wedding. I stopped by my childhood home to pick up my dress. Mom had been storing it in her cedar closet since I purchased it 6 months earlier, but when I opened the closet, the garment bag was gone. "Oh, I've been meaning to call you," Mom said casually from the doorway. "Taylor needed funds for her engagement celebration, so I let her sell your dress. You can find something simpler for your small ceremony." I stared at her speechless. My small ceremony was only small because I'd spent my entire savings on that dress. A gorgeous off-shoulder gown with vintage lace I'd fallen in love with instantly. Meanwhile, Taylor's engagement celebration was a 200-person extravaganza at the country club, where she'd met her investment banker Fian Estain 3 months ago. "You sold my wedding dress without asking me?" My voice shook. "I paid for that dress. It was mine." Mom sighed like I was being difficult. "Honey, Taylor needed something special. Her engagement is a big moment for the family. Your father would have wanted to support her. My father died when I was 8. Taylor and her mother entered our lives when I was 16, and somehow my deceased father's wishes always aligned perfectly with whatever Taylor wanted." "How much did you get for it?" I asked. $3,200, Mom answered, looking uncomfortable. "I know it doesn't quite cover what you paid, but I paid $5,800, I interrupted. "And you had no right to sell it?" I left without another word, ignoring her calls for the next week. My fiancé Shane Michael suggested postponing the wedding, but I refused to let my mother and stepsister ruin our day. That weekend, I was sorting through boxes in our apartment when I found it minus the garment bag containing my mother's own wedding dress. She'd given it to me years ago, saying someday I might want to use the material for my something borrowed or blue. The dress was a classic 1980s monstrosity minus massive puffed sleeves, high neck, and a cathedral train with enough material to clothe a small village. It had been stored properly and was in perfect condition. I called my friend Lisa, who worked as a seamstress. "How quickly can you transform this into something completely different?" I asked. 3 days later, I tried on the creation she'd made, a chic, modern mini dress that preserved the intricate beadwork around the bodice while eliminating every trace of 80s excess. No one would ever recognize it as the same dress. On our wedding day, Michael and I married at the courthouse with just our closest friends present. I didn't invite my mother or stepsister, but I made sure our photographer captured plenty of images of me and the transformed dress. 2 days later, I posted the photos with the caption, "Sometimes the perfect wedding dress has been in your closet all along. Number upcycled vintage number courthouse wedding." The post went viral in our small town, with friends gushing over the incredible vintage find. That evening, my phone rang, my mother's number. "Is that my wedding diaris?" she shrieked when I answered. "What have you done to it?" "I found something simpler for my small ceremony," I replied, echoing her words. "Isn't that what you wanted?" The silence stretched between us until she finally whispered, "Your father would be so disappointed." "Actually," I said, "Dad always taught me to stand up for myself when someone takes what belongs to me. I think he'd be proud." I hung up and blocked her number. Sometimes family isn't who you are born to, but who respects what matters to you. Michael and I are starting our own family now, -1 built on mutual respect, not favoritism. And whenever someone asks about my unusual wedding dress, I simply smile and say it has quite a history, just not the one anyone expects.